week, we're going to update our channel with a case of the week. It's funny, as bankruptcy attorneys and in my firm, we'll sit and we'll talk about all these cases, things that we see in court. And I realized that I think it's really important that we share, obviously not the details, the personal information of the folks, that we share these stories with consumers because, you may see yourself in one of those stories, or it may be a good heads up as to what not to do if you're thinking about bankruptcy, or even great, happy stories, how bankruptcy can really, change someone's life. And, we see it all the time here, the amount of stress and anxiety people get lifted off of them when they are able to get rid of all of this debt. But with that said, we're super excited about, being able to share that. And for this week, one thing I wanted to talk about was, and this comes up a lot, but we had a lady call us. And this was actually a year ago. But we had a lady call us, and she had tried to file her bankruptcy herself. And she filed it. She didn't realize that her property, that she had too much equity. She didn't realize that she had to list her rental property. A lot of things that she didn't realize and that she did wrong. And she found herself in a Chapter 7 bankruptcy with the most aggressive trustee in our district, and he had already filed a motion to sell her home and to sell her other property that her children lived in. Needless to say, she was freaking out because, you start getting all of these motions, and I'm going to tell you, Chapter 7 trustees, they have a big incentive to find equity in your home. And so I would really warn folks, if you have, if you're thinking about bankruptcy and you have real estate, make sure you are meeting with an attorney and they are making sure that they know what the valuation is on your property, because a Chapter 7 bankruptcy trustee, they're going to hire their own appraiser. They're going to hire their own real estate agent to go into your house, look at your house, see what the value is, and see if you can really protect it with your exemption, which, by the way, is only $21,500 per person on the title of your homestead. So if you got a rental property, forget about it. We're talking about your home. So you really need to make sure that you're checking the valuation, because you don't want to end up like this lady, because she was facing the trustee's motion to sell. You start getting all of these big legal packets. I can only imagine how overwhelmed she must have been. So when she contacted us, first thing we did was sit down, have her disclose all of these assets, how they were held, and then we stepped into her case. We filed an amendment, because your bankruptcy documents can be amended. So, of course you want to be as correct as possible when you file, but we can still file an amendment to fix it. So we stepped in, we filed a notice of appearance, we fixed all of her documents, updated those with the court, spoke with the trustee, and let the trustee know that we were going to ask the court to allow her to convert her case from a 7 to a 13. Now, a Chapter 13 case is great because you don't ever have to worry about losing your property in a Chapter 13, and you maintain control of it. A Chapter 7 case, you don't have an absolute right to dismiss your case like you do in 13. Chapter 7 case, if there could be a situation and the trustee could oppose it, could ask the court not to let you convert, it could be a big mess. And in the past, we've seen trustees do this. So it's, you want to make sure you're filing the correct chapter, first of all, when you file bankruptcy. That's why these do-it-yourself, you can file for free, just use this form, or a paralegals, you need counsel when you're filing a bankruptcy, especially if you have property. If you have property, you need to make sure you've got counsel, because you don't want to end up like this client. So good news is we were able to convert the case. The judge signed off on it. We converted the case to Chapter 13. She's doing a repayment plan. Her family is actually helping her. She's doing a repayment plan, and everything worked out in the end. But the amount of anxiety and stress she had to go through, horrible. And she was innocent. She didn't understand, but that's not an excuse. And the trustees don't care. So if you're, especially a Chapter 7 bankruptcy, if you're filing one and you've got assets, you could be looking at a trustee filing a motion to sell them to pay your creditors. we were really happy that we were able to help her. She was very cooperative. She had all of her paperwork, and we were able to convert her case to Chapter 13 and get it approved in just a few months. So everything is fine now, but you just want to make sure that you don't find yourself in that scenario. If you have any questions about bankruptcy here in Georgia, I'm always happy to answer questions. My information is below, and you can always reach out to me. I'm happy to answer questions about bankruptcy.